Good morning, I'm Terry, and welcome to TARDIS Spider. This week, we're going to travel back to the 1960s and look at the rules of time travel. From the very beginning, there were rules applied to the Doctor and his travels through time. Let's see how they developed and see how they changed in the 1960s. Originally, the BBC directed that major historical events and figures be depicted accurately, unaltered by the TARDIS crew. According to writer Dennis Spooner, Sidney Newman told them that when it came to the history or large-scale events, the Doctor preferred to observe, limiting how much influence he would have. This explains why the first Doctor occasionally addressed like a native and assumed an alias that suited the location, unlike most of his later incarnations. David Witter explained the philosophy behind these limits when he responded to a mail from a viewer named R. Adams of Quinton, Birmingham. Whitaker's letter read, "Undoubtedly, one must look at time as a roadway, going uphill and down the other side. You and I are in the position of walking along that road, whereas the Doctor is in the position of being placed on top of the hill. He can look forward and he can look backward. In fact, the whole pattern of the road is laid out for him. But you will appreciate, of course, that he cannot interfere with the road in any way whatsoever. The basis of time traveling is that all things happen and are fixed and unalterable. Otherwise, of course, the whole structure of existence would be thrown into unutterable confusion, and the purpose of life itself would be destroyed. Doctor Who is an observer." The Time Meddler certainly turned up the drama of life in the TARDIS, and made the Doctor a protector of reality itself. In the same story, the Doctor tells his enemy, the Monk, that there are rules concerning time travel, an idea repeated in the 1973 story, The Three Doctors, in which a Time Lord notes that the first law of time says no one may visit a future or past version of himself or herself, although another Time Lord argues that this rule can be broken on special circumstances. Paradoxes are things to avoid. The potential to change history now also brought up new moral disagreements. When Stephen asks why they can't save certain people in the past, the Doctor explains, "My dear Stephen, history sometimes gives us a terrible shock, and that is because we don't quite fully understand. Why should we? After all, we are all too small to realize its final pattern. Therefore, don't try and judge it from where you stand." So when the Doctor warned Barbara that it was impossible to alter the major history of the Aztecs, he was speaking literally as far as the writers were concerned. However, by the end of the program's second year, writer Dennis Spooner succeeded Whitaker as script editor and decided to bring up the alteration of history as a real danger. Since the Doctor acted to keep history on its proper course, the BBC didn't object. In the final story of the second year, The Time Meddler, the TARDIS crew encounters a villain who seeks to alter British history. Unconvinced of the danger at first, Stephen points out to Vicky that he remembers his history, and therefore the past is safe from the meddler. In the TV story Pyramids of Mars, the Fourth Doctor and Sarah Jane are defending humanity from a powerful alien menace in 1911. At one point, Sarah simply suggests that they leave since she knows her planet does not end in 1911. Humoring her, the Doctor travels to 1980 and opens the TARDIS doors. The Earth that lies outside is a lifeless wasteland, the result of a new timeline created by leaving humanity defenseless in 1911. Their adventure in Earth's past is fulfilling a part of history that was always there. So this week for a recommendation, let's go back to the purely historical stories. They would start, of course, with the lost story, Marco Polo. And they run through the William Hartnell era and into the Patrick Troughton era. But do not forget Black Orchid. It falls in the same category. So enjoy one of these classic Doctor Who stories. Don't forget to stay safe, wear a mask, social distance, love your friends, and love your family. And of all means, do not forget to enjoy your journey through time and space, and I will speak to all of you again soon.